Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you another video. All right, so the Lakers got the victory at home, 128 to 109 against the Portland Trailblazers, and we are very, very pleased that the efficiency king came to play. We got 31 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds, shooting very efficiently from behind the arc, pretty much everywhere, really. Fantastic game from LeBron James, and we just really appreciate those 8 assists. That's really what we've been harping on. It's just him getting 3 assists these last couple games, shooting the ball more so, and not really looking to get his teammates involved. I felt like we were seeing some of the issues with the chemistry in the first half, but we saw some fantastic stuff happen in this game. You know, I didn't mention that there was a $75,000 shot hit at halftime of the last game, and now tonight someone hit a $25,000 shot at halftime. So that just injected some good energy into the team, along with Russell Westbrook hitting not one but two buzzer end of quarter 3-point shots at the end of the second quarter and the end of I believe it was the third quarter when he hit that three as well. So you just love the fact that we were able to have some really good energy kind of injected into this team from some unexpected places. And for this to be the last home game before a 7-game road trip, to win it after the game that we just had, I think is really big for this team. I thought Austin Reeves is the guy that really deserved the game ball. Before we even get into it, I just want to take my hat off to Austin Reeves. 0 turnovers, 7 to 10 shooting, and ultimately got his career high, or season high rather, of 22 points. I'm not sure if it's career high, but it's definitely a season high, 22 points. Very, very, very fantastic for us. Just gotta give him credit for being all over the floor and attacking, not taking it upon himself to just sit back and wait for things to happen. I thought he showed leadership tonight, where guys were kind of not really sure about how they wanted to approach this game based on what happened in the last game. I thought Austin Reeves put his head down, was, as I said at the halftime video, the adult in the room. You know, LeBron James was making his statements about how, you know, he wanted to be efficient but put an emphasis on scoring the ball. And you can see guys, you know, doing what they normally do in that situation when their body language isn't high. What I saw was a disconnect in the first half that had carried over from the last game. And what I saw was Austin Reeves take it upon himself to kind of take on a little bit of leadership, I say, in terms of getting the ball to LeBron James on a rhythm pass for a 3-point shot in a key moment where I thought LeBron James really needed somebody to believe in him and root for him and be a friend for him on the team. It just felt like the energy was off. I think Austin Reeves helped a lot by just making that one simple pass and then proceeding to play off of LeBron James to where LeBron James was able to get a couple of quick, easy assists off of him as well. They had played off one another a little more after that, and then from there it started to formulate where everybody else started to play better team basketball after that, as Austin and LeBron continued to attack. Anthony Davis was starting to get more so involved. Once LeBron started getting those a couple assists to Austin Reeves, then he started passing the ball around to others, started getting engaged with Anthony Davis, and in the fourth quarter we really tried to make a concerted effort to get Anthony the ball. I thought we did a good job of getting Thomas Bryant involved down there. Getting 3 assists from him as a center was a big deal to me. I think getting playmaking from other places is so important when we got continuity issues. And I thought he really came in and instilled a lot of energy to our team, even though we had some bad fouls out there. Russell Westbrook, as I said, he hit those 2 3-point shots at the buzzer. Everything else, for the most part, was inefficient from him. He missed 10 shots out there, but he only had 1 turnover, so we always pay attention to that and appreciate that. But all in all, we just kind of got away from him in the second half, and I think it was just in what we were looking at. So let's see. Who else we want to talk about? Wenyen Gabriel only had about 11 minutes out there, but he stood out in the minutes that he was given. I thought he played pretty well. I didn't see Troy Brown out there very much. In fact, I don't remember seeing him out there at all. He might have been a scratch. So that's one of those situations where you kind of just don't remember seeing him out there at all. That's kind of strange, but he had been struggling lately. So yeah, you know, Dennis Schroeder, I think it's one of those situations where he played pretty well. I thought we were able to kind of see some issues with his size, so we got away from him and tried to call Max Christie's number, and unfortunately, Max had a really off night shooting the ball, which was expected given the fact that he was out with health and safety protocol, and this is his first game back. But he did end up hitting a bank three and contested plays pretty well while he was on the floor, so I'm pretty sure he'll get back in the swing of things. I just hope the three-point shot starts to fall again, because he was really hitting it before that health and safety protocol pulled him away from us. So yeah, that's just a little bit of a setback. I like what I saw from Kendrick Nunn tonight. We didn't play him as much in the second half, but in the first half he was really, really helpful. Not only scoring, but being efficient with passes and making plays for other people. I thought he played one of his better games tonight. And you can just see it. The team only had 9 turnovers as a whole, if I'm not mistaken. They shot close to 50% from the field, 35% from the three, but you hit 17 of them, so you can't feel bad about that. I think the team played pretty well. You know, when you consider what all we were dealing with, having lost that game in the way that we did, coughing up a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter, you just saw guys understand the importance of getting Anthony Davis the ball in the fourth quarter tonight. You saw the effort put in place to make sure that he was featured, and I thought we really saw a lot of success in that regard. But the thing about this game that was really confusing is just who you didn't see. Like, I don't remember seeing Lonnie Walker out there very much. I don't remember seeing Troy Brown out there very much. Like I said, Wenyen Gabriel only got 11 minutes. We really leaned on different people tonight, and I thought it actually helped. Giving Thomas Bryant more minutes tonight, kind of leaning on Dennis Schroeder's talent a little more tonight. Obviously, Austin Reeves had it going, so we leaned on him a little more tonight. And, of course, the hot hand Bron was pretty much torching it pretty much all night long. Nothing was missing. So, when you have it going like that and you're finding size advantages and things of that nature, you just accept the fact that some guys can just get a night off, man. It is what it is. But, given what we saw, I'm very happy that this turned out to be a win for us, and I'm glad everybody's healthy, because we're going on a very long road trip that's going to test this team. It's going to test this team in every way, and it can go one of two ways. Either it can go completely south and they can go further apart, or they can take the momentum from this victory and apply it to each and every basketball play going forward for this road trip, because that's what it's about. From play to play, from possession to possession, how serious are you going to take it? And tonight LeBron had a hot hand. Hopefully he can carry, that can continue into the next game. Obviously, we're going to be playing against the Milwaukee Bucks. And, going up against them, you can almost guarantee yourself a loss pretty much. From what I understand, Chris Middleton wants to come back and play in this game, his first game of the season. So it's one of them situations where you hope that his insertion into their lineup will kind of throw them off some. But all in all, it's going to be a tough start to the road trip if things play out as expected. However, the way we've been playing and historically how we've gone into Milwaukee's building, you gotta feel confident that Anthony Davis can play well against Giannis. He always has. So that's going to be a matchup that I'm looking forward to seeing. But as far as this one was concerned, you want to kind of double back and just give credit to the Portland Trail Blazers for being without Dame Lillard and really having guys out there really play well. Trendon Watford with a double-double. Anthony Simons really played extremely well tonight. I think he had 8 assists and 20-some-odd points. I think it was Jeremy Grant who walked away with 27 points. He was really, really playing well. And then Justice Winslow. My goodness, I haven't seen Justice Winslow play this well probably since college. The dude was balling. He splashed all over the place, played defense, did all kinds of stuff. His conditioning is where it needs to be for the first time maybe in his entire career. And you just got to love the position he's in right now with the Portland Trail Blazers. So that was surprising in terms of seeing him play as well as it was. But I think what was also surprising, again, people we didn't see. Josh Hart, I didn't see very much of him tonight. I was kind of surprised by that, if he was out there at all. It was just a very strange game in that regard. But all in all, Portland Trail Blazers put on a good show. Anthony Simons, Jeremy Grant, and those boys, they really gave us a lot of trouble tonight in the first half, particularly kept the game close. But once it was established that we had, LeBron James, Austin Reeves, and Anthony Davis all engaged at once, all firing on all cylinders, we just outclassed them completely. You got to give credit to Shaedon Sharpe for playing efficient, even though he was a minus 14. He still electrified the crowd with pretty much the dunk of the season on a putback before the half ended. And it was just a bunch of highlights all over the place before the end of the half. By the way, we talked about that. You guys can check out my halftime video as I reacted to pretty much one of the most explosive ends of a half you'll ever see, with highlights and buzzer beaters and all kinds of stuff that just really, really happened in a matter of like a minute and a half. But the Lakers did a good job. They came out in the third quarter and continued to press the issue in regards to making sure that Anthony Davis was the focal point, as I said. And LeBron James just carried us home with the hot hand, along with Austin Reeves, who just kept everything stable throughout. And it resulted in us getting 128 points. 64 points in the paint for each team. So the emphasis was there. I think when you consider what Portland was trying to do without Dame Lillard, they were missing a great deal of what it is that put them together. And because of it, they were so undermanned. They just didn't have a whole lot of talent to kind of help them off of their bench. So when you look at the box score of their bench, they really had a lot of gophers and players that just did not contribute very much. And I think that definitely helped us a lot. At the end of the day, Portland Trailblazers are constructed in such a way to where it's Dame Lillard eating up dang near half of the cap, like completely honestly. And so if he's out there playing his best with the complementary pieces that they have, they should be a solid team, make the playoffs. But if he's out, they're decimated completely because he took all the cap money. So that's really what's going on there, to be honest with you. And with him being out, they just don't have that great of a team. So it's good for us, man. Another team that we can kind of roll over. We didn't play bad at all. I think we put up a pretty solid performance. I'd love to see us get a little better on the defensive end, but I think with the reinsertion of Patrick Beverley and couple that with us kind of going bigger tonight, I think it gave us a much better look defensively. As I said, Thomas Bryant, Wenyen Gabriel, Anthony Davis was really affecting things defensively, of course. It just really helped going to Max Christie. That I think helped a lot on the defensive end. In certain sequences, it just made us bigger. So that's really the emphasis tonight. It's just appreciating that we decided to go with size. We've been going with small ball a lot and kind of got pushed around in that fourth quarter against the Pacers. We saw Dennis Schroeder's deficiencies in size kind of rear its ugly head against that team, getting pushed around, missing on rebounds, stuff like that. We really didn't have that issue as much tonight. We kind of had Schroeder in lineups that had guys that were bigger on the floor. AD and Braun on the floor with Austin Reeves and Wenyen Gabriel and players that can kind of complement them in ways that maybe we hadn't had before. So I just saw a better continuity game tonight. And a great deal of that had to do with Austin Reeves just putting his head down and not reacting to what the game that previously took place provided us in terms of the heartbreak of it all. I think our stars, particularly LeBron James, his body language was bad to start the half. Even though he was shooting well to start the first quarter, and carrying into the second quarter, we saw some of the same issues he and Russell Westbrook had been having, chemistry-wise, guys not wanting to pass to each other, stuff like that. It was very noticeable to me, and we saw a situation where LeBron James kind of chirped at Anthony Davis. I just thought his body language, man, it wasn't great, but I thought Austin Reeves really helped with that. You know what I mean? One of the things we asked for LeBron James to do is like be a passer and look for guys who are struggling and instill confidence in them and all of that. And what I'm seeing is Austin Reeves doing it. What I'm seeing is what I'm looking for from LeBron James, I'm getting from the young fella. I mean, and I'll take it from anywhere. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. It's like there's nothing wrong with that. It's one of those situations where a lot of times it's been painted that superstars got to be leaders. But we talk about it a lot. Sometimes superstars just need to be led. Sometimes they just need somebody to believe in them. Sometimes they just need somebody to pull them aside and say, yo, you're still that dude, and I'm going to get you the ball and make sure you remember that. And I think that's what Austin Reeves did tonight. And I think it was the right button pressed. And I think it propelled us to a win, to be completely honest with you. So that's the kind of stuff that I just look into. Obviously, there are other things that contribute to a basketball game. But when you consider what is going wrong out there in the chemistry and stuff like that, and guys hanging their head and stuff like that, all it takes is a rhythm pass to a guy to hit a three-point shot to get him going. And that's exactly what I saw. So, moving forward, as we look at the Los Angeles Lakers, the most important thing I think, for them to do is to continue to pay attention to 3-point discipline. Now, we've been okay there. Shooting it, we've been okay. I think the first half we showed some issues there. But on the road, we're going to have the 3-point discipline. And that doesn't mean just shooting the ball. That means on the other side as well, of course, 3-point perimeter defense is going to be paramount. We are going up against a lot of 3-point shooting teams. And like I said, Middleton's coming back. You know what he's looking to do. Guys like Grayson Allen, you know, they're playing well. I checked the stats today on my fantasy team, and Drew Holiday is in rare form right now. So we are definitely going up against a team that should outclass us, but we're definitely not afraid to face them because we have the King, we have AD, we have everybody healthy, and we're a fresh team. You know, this is the beginning of the road trip, so obviously the tail end of the road trip, we'll be talking about fatigue, but at the beginning, you expect to have some pep in your step coming off of this very solid victory against an undermanned Blazer team that we should be able to beat on most nights if they're running what they ran out there tonight with respect. And that's not to take away from guys. I think they played very well. Like I said, Justice Winslow might have played the best game I've ever seen him play. There ain't no question about that. I think Jeremy Grant is well on his way to an all-star appearance this season. I don't know if he'll make it or not, but he's deserving. You know, Anthony Simons he's well deserving of every coin that he got this year. They re-signed him at $100 million for 4 years in the offseason. I thought that was a good contract because I know what he can do, and he showed that, especially when Dame is out. You need him. And so he's worth every coin. And I just think that Portland's a solid team. You know, what really hurt them tonight, I think, also was kind of Nurkic's inefficiency. He wasn't able to really give them a whole lot down there from a scoring standpoint, and I thought that helped us. You got to give our guys credit for, you know, doing a good job on him. Obviously, Anthony Davis and Thomas Bryant, those guys, whoever was put on him, overall just was able to kind of neutralize him tonight, and that's a big deal. You know, and I think it contributed to why the Blazers didn't win tonight. If they would have got a bigger game out of him with Dame missing, you could definitely see how that could have kind of catered to some things that would have went wrong for us. But, you know, they didn't play any defense tonight. We definitely appreciated it. 128 points they allowed the Los Angeles Lakers to have. And, you know, when that is the case, we feel mighty confident that we can walk out of our building with a victory. Guys got tacos and everything, so you got to appreciate that from a fan standpoint. So that's pretty much where my thoughts are, man. I don't have a whole lot to complain about. You know, obviously we shot a lot tonight, but when LeBron James gives me 8 assists, I'm good, man. I just don't like 3 assist games where he's shooting 11 3-point shots. And we walk away and we lose because we have a lot of things go wrong on the defensive end as well in regards to himself. You know what I mean? I called him out in the halftime video in regards to wanting to see him give the keys to Anthony Davis. I felt like he hadn't been doing a good enough job of returning the favor. You know, Anthony Davis came here as a superstar, an A1 guy, and he asked AD to take a back seat to him so we can win, with the intention of giving him the keys to the cars right about now. And it just seems like he ain't ready to do it. He's still asking people to let him be the main character at all costs, and he's chasing his personal goals, even if it hurts the team, even if it means AD doesn't get the keys. And I just feel like that's bad energy, and it's going to cost LeBron James a great deal of respect. And so that's what I want to see him do a better job of. And in the second half, I thought he took steps toward doing what I want to see him do, which is give Anthony Davis the keys. Let him get the ball. Let him shine. And you saw that. Anthony Davis, who didn't have his most efficient basketball game, but he was able to give us everything that you want to see him get. And then LeBron James was able to get his numbers too. And I think everybody walks away pretty solid and we win. You know what I mean? And that's ultimately what it's about. You know dang well we would have won that game if we would have gave Anthony Davis the ball in the fourth quarter against the Pacers. They ain't had nobody down there that could actually stop him. With respects to Miles Turner, who was playing well, they wasn't going to do nothing. But we didn't give him but 2 touches in the fourth quarter in that last game. Having already talked about this so much during the first, 20 games of the season? Unacceptable. So I'm glad the Lakers bounced back. They didn't lay an egg and get blown out by an undermanned team tonight like a lot of bad teams would do after getting, their heart broken. And I think we're ready to start this road trip with the intention of giving it our all and capturing, as much production as possible from ourselves, defensively and offensively. Both sides of the ball matter, man. We can't assume things are stable just because we are made a shot or two, or because 3-point shots are falling or what have you. If we're going to give up open shots to 3-point shooters, we're going to lose on the road. There's no question about that. So I think the emphasis should definitely be on some of those deficiencies that we've seen over the last several games defensively. Transition defense, defensive rebounding, 3-point discipline. These are things we talk about all the time. We need to see that stuff on the road. Guys' games need to travel. We cannot have guys who are not going to be productive on the road. It's okay when guys are running around on purple and gold floors. Everybody's happy when the crowd is into it. But can you do that same stuff when the crowd doesn't like you, when the building isn't familiar, when the color scheme is some totally different stuff? Are you going to be able to do that when you slept in a hotel that night? That is what it's about. And if guys' games don't travel, we're going to be bad this road trip, and we're not going to have a whole lot of nice things to say about the team. Now, like I said, we got certain games on this road trip that we know we're not supposed to win. So if we happen to get a victory, it's going to be hooray and a half. But the ones that we know we have an opportunity to win, we need to capture those games. And we're going to need to play with the same intensity against every team, no matter who they are. And so that's what I'm hoping to see from this roster. We're not a good squad, man. So we can't afford to coast. We can't afford to gloat and all that dancing and stuff like that. Russell Westbrook, I'm sorry, brother. It's not as entertaining when you're not efficient on both sides of the floor. And what I'm seeing from Russell Westbrook is 4-14, 4-14, 4-14. Far too often, brother. Ain't nothing to dance about when we're throwing away possessions off of missed shots, man. We need to turn some of that celebration energy into more defensive intensity. Save your energy. Fire yourself up when the ball is falling, but when it's not falling, let's get excited about getting stops. Let's dance when we get a steal, because right now I'm seeing us gloating, and all it's doing is firing up the other team and really just bringing down the energy of the ball club. So that's something that we noticed in the last game. Obviously, we didn't see a whole lot of Russell Westbrook tonight. I do expect to see a lot of him on this road trip, and he's going to have to reel it in, man. And like I said, body language is a big thing. We do have fragile chemistry, man. It is what it is, but we also have very strong role players who are not a part of that problem. Guys like Austin Reeves and Wenyen Gabriel, who don't seem to react to any of that crap. And that's exactly what we need to lean on. The stable minds in the room. I don't care if they're the stars or the role players. This is a bad team, so everybody's a role player. We need to find leadership in every direction. And tonight, Austin Reeves provided a great deal of that. And we're going to need more of it on this road trip, brother. I hate to say it, but we're going to need Austin Reeves to continue to do the little things while everybody else is running around like the Tasmanian devil, with like chickens with their heads cut off, overreacting to every little thing, whether it's good or bad on this team. We need stable minds to lead this squad. And that's the bottom line, man. So that's what I'm hopeful we'll see more of. Now, anything else in regards to this game? Talking about the rebounding total, we did win that by about 4 or 5 boards, hovering under 50 boards, which is our average. Nothing bad to talk about there. I think we did good. Anthony Davis, I believe, walked away with like 12 or 13 rebounds. That's good. We like that. Efficiency is key. We got, I think it was like 5 or 6 players in double figures. Very happy with that. It's pretty much it, man. There wasn't a whole lot to this basketball game. It wasn't a whole lot to really consider. Like I said, there was a lot of players missing that you would expect to see, and some surprising faces that played very well. But all in all, it was all about efficiency king. All efficiency king and Austin Reeves going crazy, man, being aggressive. And of course, the team just overall doing a much better job at finding Anthony Davis and empowering him to be himself. And when we get a good combination of those 3 things, we're going to have a good chance to beat a lot of teams. So that's what we saw tonight, and we're happy about it. And of course, we've reached the Kobe minute, so we want to send a shout out to the Bryant family and everybody who love Kobe Bean Bryant here, of course. And let's get on this road trip, man. It's going to be 7 straight games on the road. Eastern Conference starting in Milwaukee, followed by some kind of combination of Washington, Cleveland, Philly, Toronto, who else? Some other teams too, not in that order. So let's get ready, you guys, and be certain to know that all of those games are very early. we're talking 4:30 for the next one, 3 o'clock for the following game. So, yeah, it's Eastern Conference early stuff. Be ready for that. This is one of LeBron James' last Eastern Conference trips. I don't know how many more times he's going to be in some of these buildings. So that is something that is very noteworthy in regards to what it is we're seeing tonight. Same thing with Russell Westbrook. I don't know how many times we're going to see these guys in these buildings, so I'm pretty sure they're going to try to do something special in these buildings. It's going to be about the main characters, so be ready. I do think that all in all, we're also going to see some guys who are going to show up big time because of the fact the Lakers are in the house, that they only see the Lakers once. So be ready for guys like Joel Embiid, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kyle Kuzma, Kristaps Porzingis. We're going to see them all on this road trip, man. And it's going to be fun. But injuries is something that I'm very much worried about as I consider Eastern Conference road trips that keep us away from home for a long time. I just want to encourage Coach to keep a very close eye on everybody who's hobbling, anybody who's tired, stuff like that. That kind of stuff is real important. This is your very first long cross-country road trip, and I just feel like there's a lot of things that can go wrong. Is, Coach is not paying attention to stuff like that. Coach is just not necessarily realizing that guys are just about ready to conk over in terms of their bodies and stuff like that. You can tend to see it. I remember once there was a year where it was Kobe Bryant, was kind of just looking a little wobbly. It was a game, I think it was against Charlotte or something like that, and it was a vibe that I had that he was about to get hurt. His body was off. Everything about him was off balance, and everything that was going on just looked like he was a step slow. The thing about it was, I remember looking at my mother. I'm like, Mom, Kobe's not right. They need to call a timeout or something because eventually this is going to go left. And what ended up happening was Kobe did not get hurt that game. But what he did do was fall into Andrew Bynum's knee and ended up hurting Andrew Bynum. Andrew Bynum was out for the season because of that injury. I don't know why I was so intent on pointing out the fact that Kobe looked strange to me, but it was his imbalance, just ultimately his imbalance that ultimately had him falling onto Andrew Bynum in that situation. So these are the type of things where it's like my intuition told me to pull Kobe off the floor. My intuition told me that injuries was in the air, and I just think it was one of those things where it's like you want your coaches and the coaching staff to just pay attention to every little thing in regards to guys' bodies and how they're moving and stuff like that, especially on the road. Because when you have what we have going on, just to where one guy's get injured and it can throw your whole future off, you can be hyper paranoid about this stuff, and it could be basically reasonable. It's not as simple as guys going out for the season. We only have a few things worth anything. So if they go down or they lose value, that value is shot. And it can affect how things look in our future. So that's really what it's about, man. We want to stay absolutely healthy on this very seriously physical road trip. So that's what I gotta say, man. That's really where my head is. I'm excited about it. I think the team is gonna get a good test to see what they're about, and if they do something crazy, like win this road trip or only drop 1 or 2 games on this road trip, if they do something like that, I think the Laker organization may reconsider what they want to do in regards to investing in this team. I think this road trip can go a long way in making people feel a certain way about whatever they're going to do. I do think that unless Jeanie Buss has made a decision that is already set in stone, which is a variable in my head because of how LeBron James is acting. He's acting as if somebody told him, I don't care what happens, I ain't giving you what you want. That's how he's acting. But what I would say to Jeanie is, yeah, that's what I would say to LeBron James, but that's not necessarily what I would say to Anthony Davis. And that's the point. I ain't investing in any LeBron James-led basketball team right now, but I would definitely invest in a Anthony Davis-led basketball team right now the way he started the season. So if you're looking at it that way, maybe you want to reconsider what it is that you're willing to do in terms of investing in this team, and most importantly, investing in his tenure as your star. If you ain't going to trade him, you may want to consider what it means to invest in this season for him. LeBron James is just another player in that regard. So I'm just gonna be real. I mean, y'all know I'm tired of Bron. I ain't gonna act like I'm not. And until his energy change, I'm not gonna be too favorable of him whether he plays well or not. And that's just what it is. I've been pointing out a lot of stuff I don't like, and I saw a lot of that tonight. But what I did like with those 8 assists and him shooting very, very efficiently. So as long as that continues to be the result of what he's doing, we're happy. But I do think that we have a long way to go, a very long way to go. And I think the only way we're going to get there is through victories, and the only way we're going to get there is through guys playing together. And I think we got along tonight better than we had been as a team in that second half, particularly. So that's what I got to say, man. Good win, Lakers. Good win, Lakers. Good stuff all the way around. And again, Austin Reeves gets the game ball from me, even though we did have a lot of players play well, of course, including Efficiency King. So that's what I got, man. BDF 44. I thank you all for watching. Good win. I'm out.